laying off about half of its 7,500 employees.
Trying to put a little fun in funeral.
Fear of sabotage.
A number of employees filed a class action lawsuit.
It's impossible to know exactly how many people have left.
We're all about to get fired.
Twitter's offices are now locked down.
Steph, what is going on right now?
To call the current state of Twitter a dumpster fire, I think, in my opinion, would be an insult to dumpster fires, because dumpster fires know their place. They burn, and the most important part about that life cycle is they stop burning. Now with Twitter, it just keeps going and going and going. Every single time I open the app, it just seems to get worse and worse, which, you know, leads me to open the app again. I think a lot of us are coming together and experiencing something that's just so bad you just can't help but stare. With almost 4,000 employees laid off, top executives leaving, verification, misinformation, and welcoming back Kanye West.
Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler.
Andrew Tate.
Because females have no innate responsibility or honor.
And Donald Trump. What could go wrong? In 2006, we got Twitter, which was originally I can't even say it. Originally, they were too cool for vowels. And Twitter quickly became a modern tool for the modern world. This is the platform where we realized that anyone who has Twitter can now contribute to real-time reporting. And Twitter was also home to some historic events, like that one time Ellen took a selfie at the Oscars.
And then we'll see if we can break the record for the most retweets.
Which was apparently a really big deal. The blue dress, gold dress scandal. And of course, where would we be without election misinformation? Which now is a whole lot easier, but we'll get to that. Another benefit of using Twitter is that these celebrities, these corporations that are larger than life, usually are now a little bit smaller because they're just another account on Twitter. Seeing famous people that you look up to's true colors is oftentimes disheartening because you realize that what they create is not necessarily who they are. I'm getting off topic. This is a video about Twitter and how it has become ugh. In my personal humble opinion, I feel like Twitter has become a little bit stale. Like it's just always been the platform where words go. One of their greatest advancements as an application has been upping their limit from 140 to 280.
Well, have you ever wished that you could put more into your tweets? Pretty soon you'll be able to. Twitter is doubling how many characters users can tweet.
It was a pretty big deal, but like, the word limit. And when Snapchat did stories, and then Instagram did stories, Facebook did stories, YouTube did stories, and Twitter did fleets, it was the only story-like feature from all those platforms I just mentioned that didn't quite make it. But regardless of not seeing massive innovation and new features coming out of Twitter left and right, Twitter still is the home to millions of daily active users who enjoy the platform and what it offers. So when I heard that Elon was planning to take over Twitter,
you made an offer to buy Twitter.
I was a bit optimistic. Prior to Twitter, from everything that I gathered about Elon Musk, I thought he was a very reasonable man when it came to innovation. He was once doing an interview with a YouTuber, and a YouTuber straight up said, "Hey, I think your rocket could be rocketing a little bit better."
But this is only for the booster, right?
Yes. Although arguably, now you mention it, we might be wise to do this for the ship too.
And then Elon said,
"Oh, we're gonna fix that."
Jeez.
And then committed to fixing it on the spot. But the crazy part about that whole thing was he actually went through with the recommendations and he saw improvements.
So it's a significant optimization, massive cost savings. I'd say that's like one of the biggest improvements that we've made.
It occurred to me while I was explaining it to you. I was like, wait, what are we doing?
When Marquez Brownlee, aka MKBHD, tweeted that YouTube was the only S-tier platform, and then Elon replied, "For now." Seeing that little tiny exchange on Twitter got me so excited. Like if Elon was going to take Marquez's ideas and bring them to life, Twitter could actually become a top tier platform and have some more features other than upping the word count to like 325 or something. Now in that video, Marquez said a lot of words, but what got me most excited was when he recommended that Twitter double down on their creator economy, kind of like what YouTube does. The reason why so many creators choose to create on YouTube or move their audiences to YouTube is because YouTube cares about its creators. Like the amount of creator tools that YouTube provides creators is amazing. And they're always looking for new ways to add monetization that doesn't feel clunky and just fits on the platform, which is amazing. So if Elon would just take a page out of YouTube's book and double down on creator tools, it would empower and encourage more creators to actually create on Twitter Twitter because it's a platform that they can understand their audience, grow with their audience, monetize, and like create a whole entire business on just Twitter alone. That's good for the creator, that's good for the everyday user, and that's good for Twitter. Seeing that video of Elon fix his rocket on the spot, plus all the information that Marques Brownlee provided, I was pumped. I was like, you know what, that Elon guy, wow, there's a guy who just lets the best idea rise to the top. He would never let his ego get in the way of true innovation. So I thought. Twitter was finally successful in suing Elon to buy Twitter for $44 billion. And on October 26th, that's when the storm started. And for his first act as CEO, he tweets, entering Twitter HQ, let that sink in, and then carries the actual sync. I don't know why the actual sync was important. I'm not sure if he just had it lying around or I imagine he planned it. I imagine that he was with his billionaire buddies and was like, hey guys, wouldn't it be really cool if I brought an actual sync, Bezos? Bezos, you like that?
Hell yes.
The sync joke was, of course, very hilarious. Good job, Elon. And I thought the rest of his reign was going to be that lighthearted kind of memification of the job. Wasn't quite the case. The next thing he does is lay off the CFO, CEO, and head of legal. Multiple news outlets predicted this.
He was clear that he didn't align with the board or the senior management team, and he believed the company was poorly run.
Like, Elon has a big personality. He's probably not going to play well with others. Didn't get that on his report card. But at least these top executives walked away with a total of almost $200 million. I mean, not a fun day to be fired like that, but at least you're walking away with millions. So I imagine that helps just a little bit. Firing the CFO and CEO was expected, but what wasn't expected was the absolute war that he decided to wage on his own Twitter employees. Like, why, my guy? He went on a complete rampage of just ruining the lives of all Twitter's employees. He took away the free food in the cafeteria, and then he canceled remote work, so you have to come into the office and work a minimum of 40 hours a week with pants on. Now, those two things alone would be enough to drive almost anyone away from Elon Musk's company. No remote, no food. What's the point of working? But not for Elon. He decided to go even further with how he wanted to contribute to the hostile work environment. He began just straight up firing people for no cause at all. Like, he's bashing on their work in public. He made a tweet that said, by the way, I'd like to apologize for Twitter being super slow in many countries. App is doing more than 1,000 poorly patched RPCs just to render a home timeline. And the person who was responsible for that portion of the app said, well, I have spent 6 years working on Twitter for Android and can say this is wrong. That was it. Just straight up, hey, buddy, I don't think that's right information that you're telling your millions of followers. I thought this was a interesting exchange because, one, Elon's always talking about, I want to be super transparent of what I'm doing with Twitter.
Well, I think it's very important for there to be an inclusive arena for free speech.
And I was like, wow, kudos to Elon for establishing a workplace where the workers feel like it's okay and acceptable to have free speech and tell your CEO that he's wrong when he's wrong. I mean, that seems pretty fair. That's the exact same thing that Elon's doing. So it turns out that Elon's push for Twitter being a free speech platform only applies to him and his buddies, because he fired the person who openly said that's not correct information, which is crazy. Like, what are you doing? And if that wasn't enough, which it was, I would have been out of there. He said that you got to commit to the hardcore programming or get out with 3 months severance.
We will need to be extremely hardcore, adding that if you are sure that you want to be part of the new Twitter, please click yes. Anyone who has not done so by 5 p.m. Thursday will receive 3 months of severance.
And for Elon, hardcore working seems to be no lunches in the office, no remote work, reduced perks, more responsibility for the same pay. And of course, you got to work through the night. At 1 a.m., a selfie with his employees, and he tweeted, just leaving Twitter HQ code review, and was just like so excited. And I don't think it was the flex that he thought it was. Who wants to be working with their CEO, who happens to be Elon Musk, who just happened to have fired half of their friends and coworkers at 1 a.m. instead of being with their families? Come on. So with 3 months severance, like 1,000 folks resigned, and I get it. If you got really used to being able to pick up your kid at 3 p.m. and then continue to be a great employee at 4 p.m., and someone was just like, nah, you got to come in the office and change your entire life, deuces. And some of the people that decided to jump ship were the chief privacy officer and the chief information security officer. They saw the sinking ship and they're like, nah, fam. Almost from the jump, Elon was pretty clear what he wanted. He wanted Twitter to be the free speech platform with less moderation, and he also wanted the app to make money. And he picked these two things and they just ended up colliding with each other, and not one of them worked. To make Twitter profitable, he had a ton of employee cuts, and for the remaining employees, they were rewarded by having all of their perks slashed. And on the strive to make Twitter profitable, he tried to launch Twitter Blue and the verification system, which completely backfired in making money. Just like that old saying goes, if it ain't broke, repurpose an already existing feature and make it more complicated for everyone and break the app. Yeah, that's how it goes. So for a subscription service to work, it needs to add clear value, and it should go without saying that that value should not break the rest of the entire app. And I feel, now that I'm saying it out loud, that someone probably should have told Musk. Weeks after taking the throne, Elon rolled out version 9.34.3. The feature notes read, "Starting today, we're adding great new features to Twitter Blue and have more on the way soon. Get Twitter Blue for $7.99 a month if you sign up now. Blue checkmark. Power to the people. Your account will get a blue checkmark just like the celebrities and companies and politicians you already follow." I cannot be the only one who read this and saw this being a huge problem. And spoiler alert, I wasn't. The whole entire internet saw it, and the whole entire internet did what the internet does best: break stuff. And for the low cost of $7.99 per month, you too can spread misinformation with confidence.
But where it gets serious and where there are real consequences is when people start to impersonate government officials, public figures. It becomes extremely difficult for users, for everyday users of the platform, to figure out who to believe, who to trust.
Fake verified accounts just kept springing up as soon as they saw this feature. A fake verified Lockheed Martin account tweeted, "We will begin halting all weapon sales to Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the United States until further investigations into their record of human rights abuses." A verified fake huge insulin company tweeted, "We are excited to announce that insulin is free." And a verified fake Nintendo account tweeted a Italian Mario displaying a very American gesture. And these companies saw billions of their market cap just vanish, all thanks to this new update. So, you know, these things happen. Sometimes platforms cost other organizations billions of dollars. I think the right thing would be just to roll back that feature until they get it under control. Now, I'm kidding. That would make way too much sense. What happened instead was that they rolled out a official tag that would go next to a verified tag, so that those two together would make more sense, and you could really tell who are the verified people as opposed to the people who are parodies that actually just have parody in their name, but also the official tag as well. If only there was a feature in place, like a small icon or something that could go next to your name so people could distinguish between fake accounts and real accounts. One day, maybe, when technology advances. I cannot imagine working 12 hours a day in Elon's Twitter to get these features out, and then they are terrible and you have to roll them back and work another 12 hours. It doesn't sound like a very fun place to work. And the worst part about this whole Twitter verification shenanigans is that subscription services don't really bring in a ton of extra money. For example, YouTube has 2.6 billion users, and out of those 2.6 billion users, only 20 million of them are subscribed to YouTube Premium, which is less than 1%. And YouTube Premium actually has good features in it. Snapchat has over 340 daily active users, and only 1 million of them subscribe to Snapchat Plus. All that for just a sliver of extra revenue. And if all of that wasn't bad enough, Elon saw it fit in his infinite wisdom to bring back some of the most controversial people that were banned from the platform: Kanye West, Andrew Tate, and Trump. Kanye, who is now in the mood of sharing his very anti-Semitic views with the world.
I'm not trying to be shocking. I like Hitler. I see good things about Hitler also.
Andrew Tate, who has been known to treat women as property and encourages that his cult of an audience does the same.
Andrew, you have the most cult following I've seen. That's true. I certainly have a cult following.
And then, of course, Trump, who did you know Trump. My heart truly goes out to Twitter employees that were there long before Elon was and poured countless hours between 9 and 5 to making Twitter the amazing platform, the amazing app that it was, helping millions of people around the world share their opinions and their thoughts. And I truly hope for the best for Twitter and its future. But if not, at least we have Mastodon.